Alrighty, guys. Good afternoon. We have a tornado warning in effect here. This is going to be for Spencer County. Apologize about that. Getting everything situated here. This is going to be a tornado warning in effect for very far southern Indiana. And our policy here with Indiana Weather Network is to go live for any and all tornado warnings and then higher end severe warnings as well. So taking a look at this, this is going to be heading toward the Chrisney, Lamar, New Boston, and Maxville areas. The storm itself is not really exhibiting much rotation on radar. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a spotter report or something that came in from somebody in the area. But right now, we're not really seeing too much that would suggest a tornado is imminent or on the ground via the radar. Area of interest, so I'm going to guess, is just to the west of Chrisney here, where you see this little bit of red and green coming together there. So that's a little concerning, but not really. We want to see it a little bit brighter, a little bit tighter than what it is. So we're not really seeing too much here, but we're going to go live here and cover this and kind of track it. The text of the warning, reading this off here, says a tornado warning is in effect for central Spencer County in southwestern Indiana until 5:45 p.m. Central Time. That is 6:45 p.m. Eastern. It says a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 7 miles northwest of Rockport, moving east at 10 miles per hour. Now that's going to be a hazard of a tornado. His radar indicated rotation, and it says flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. It goes on to say it's typical verbiage of how to take shelter. So if you're in the path of this, not really seeing anything that suggests it's on the ground. But if you live in the Chrisney, Newtonville, Liberal, Lamar, Evanston, New Boston, and even Ritchie areas along State Route 70 and then State Route, we're going to say US 231 actually. That's going to be generally where we're most concerned about, right in this area as this moves to the east and a bit north. And no, there is really, today, the severe threat we thought was going to be south of the state line. And so if you're watching from up in like Indianapolis area or Fort Wayne, you guys are just some rain showers today. There's really nothing to be concerned about severe weather-wise. This is the only storm that's currently warned for anything in the state of Indiana. So that's going to be kind of zooming out here, taking a peek across the other areas. Outside this general area, just some scattered showers and perhaps a rumble of thunder here. So not much going on. Even further north, we're pretty dry up here across the north central and northern parts of the state. This warning here kind of surprised me, actually. Not really seeing much on here on radar. Let's go ahead and take a peek here. I have an advanced radar that you guys can't see that I can see above me here. I'm going to turn on the debris tracker. I wonder if something perhaps briefly spun up that we're not seeing on velocity that may be on. You know what? Actually, let's take a peek at that real quick. I mean, it doesn't line up to me. We can take a look at this here. There might be a debris ball, and kind of tracking this back here. Although looking at this particular area, it doesn't really line up very well, but that could have been what prompted this warning per se, although I personally don't see it lining up. I'm not the official expert, NWS is, so obviously they saw a need to warn this, so we're going to treat it as such. This is, again, the west central part of Spencer County. Area of rotation, area of interest. Go ahead and flip back over here to velocity. Going to be moving just south or very close to the town of Chrisney here. Yeah, there's nothing further north that's currently warned. Again, kind of zooming out here, we have some widespread showers and storms here from east of Terre Haute, Bloomington area. If you're north of Indianapolis, north of I-70, there's really not much going on here on radar. It's a dry evening, a pleasant evening, especially further north here toward Fort Wayne, South Bend. Nothing on radar, no storms. And the severe threat today is really tied to the very extreme southern part by Evansville and Corridon areas. There's really not much going on overall today. And I'm honestly a little confused on why this warning was issued, although I'm pretty sure usually when it happens where we have these really weak signatures on radar, usually the case is there's a spotter that saw something or reported something, and out of abundance of caution, they decide to continue their or to issue the warning just to kind of be on the safe side. So this is going to be, again, just south of the town of Christney in Spencer County. Newtonville, Liberal, Lamar, Evanston, and New Boston will be the towns in the path. But this thing is moving pretty slow here. So really, it's just a matter of how long it can hold out, how long it's going to last. And the threat right now is basically over the area of Centerville, between Christie and Centerville. Again, this radar is not really showing anything that's concerning, like tight rotation or a debris signature, but we're going to treat it as such. Right about in here, it's going to cross very close to the town of Christney toward the Newtonville area. This is the only county in the state of Indiana currently underneath any type of warning. It is Spencer County. And yes, we are live on Facebook as well as YouTube and X. And I am fully aware that our title date is incorrect. I am fixing that right now. The reason for that is because we had this ready to go the past couple of days. We haven't had any severe weather the past couple of days, so we haven't updated it. If you do not live in Spencer County in Indiana, you are okay from severe weather right now. There's virtually a very, very low threat. In fact, I wonder if I can zoom out here and show you guys the risk today, just to kind of ease your guys' anxiety a bit. There you go. Zooming out, the dark green area, I'll go ahead and highlight it just so you guys can see. This area right here, this box, is the only part of Indiana that has any type of severe threat today per the SPC. If you go north, you have some rain showers up here in the Terre Haute area, but overall, this is the only concern in the state, and that is Spencer County. That's the only warning in effect. It just so happens that it is a tornado warning. Yeah, Spencer is basically as far south as you can go in Indiana before you hit Kentucky. So this is really far south. So if you guys have friends, family, relatives, loved ones in the Spencer County area, it might be a good idea to give them a text. Again, this storm to me does not look overly concerning. Radar doesn't really appear to be signifying anything of significance, but obviously the warning here doesn't mention anything spotted or anything like that. So I'm kind of curious what prompted this warning. But if I had to guess, I'm going to assume there was a spotter report of a funnel cloud or perhaps a land spout maybe, or a weak tornado that we just can't see on radar. Yeah, this is not Spencer, Indiana. This is Spencer County. This is as far south in Indiana as you can get. Hey, Julie, I'm not sure if that is going to work for you. I can turn that on if it's not already on. Give me 1 second. I will turn it on. So if you guys want to be notified when we go live, there is a handy feature here on Facebook that you can type in the word exclamation point and notify. and it will send you a notification on Facebook that we go live. If you're watching on YouTube side of things, you can subscribe, and also the bell, the notification bell, that will also send a push alert to your phone anytime we go live. So there's 2 ways to be alerted for that. I'm going to share my screen, my advanced radar screen here. This is what the radar looked like a few minutes ago. I'm going to take the chat off the screen just for a second here. And I want you to take note here in the bottom right corner, there's a blue circle here. That typically, when we see that align with rotation, that usually indicates there's debris. But with this instance, if you see that red square that I have in the middle of that blue circle, and go up here to the top left and see that red square, if this were a tornado, usually that would align in the heavier precipitation in like the yellow or red color. So it's kind of displaced here. I wonder if this was a just an abundance of caution. They see the perhaps some debris getting lofted. Maybe they thought that there could have been something there, but to me, it looks like what we call clear air. We'll have to see, though. Keep an eye on the social media feeds from NWS as well. I have not seen any official word on what prompted this warning, but it doesn't appear to be anything too concerning. We're going to treat it as such, though, just because they did decide to issue the warning. This is going to be passing basically over State Route 70 right now in 231. It is moving slow. That's really good news. So we're not really too concerned about downstream areas just yet. But again, this storm is slowly, and the key word here is slowly, moving to the east-northeast here toward the town of Liberal and Newtonville. I'm going to pull up the INDOT drive map here, travel-wise, and see if we have any cameras in this vicinity, just to get a good idea if we have anything like any eyes or anything that could help us get a visual on the storm. Way far south. Santa Claus is to the north of this, so we're up here for Santa Claus. We're not seeing anything heading your way. Just some rain for you. And unfortunately, there are no cameras in this vicinity. So we are kind of blind with this. Checking social media here. Perhaps some small hail with this storm as well, over the town or just south of the town of Christine. It doesn't look like it's a very tall storm. I wouldn't expect there to be any large hail with this, but we do see an indication here that there also could be maybe some dime-sized hail falling. Looking at the VIL, the VIL is not really impressive by itself, which is a hail tracker product there, but wouldn't be shocked to see some smaller to medium-sized hail falling there. And yeah, this is very far south Indiana here, Spencer County. So zooming way out, we're down here. We're basically the same area as Evansville, just to the east of Evansville. So again, if you're watching north of Indianapolis tonight, there is pretty much nothing happening for you guys. It's dry, it's pleasant, Get out there, enjoy the evening. South of Indy, though, we got some scattered rain and perhaps rumble of thunder here. We got some storms by Bloomington, also over here by Clay City. These are not severe. Looking at the velocity, the wind speeds, not seeing anything really concerning with these. Just gonna be a brief rain shower for you. Only severe storm currently in the state happens to be this tornado warning that was issued about 15 minutes ago here for Spencer County. Area of interest of the storm is going to be just south of Christney, moving very close to Newtonville here, as well as Liberal. Area of interest is going to be on the south side of the storm, somewhere in this vicinity right there. It's moving this way at about 10 miles an hour, so not very fast moving at all. It's pretty slow, so you have some time to react here. We'll see what they do as well. Looks like they updated the warning here. I'll see what they trimmed it back. Let's go ahead and see if they updated the text of this. It still says radar indicated, and they still did not put any source besides just radar indicated. So usually, like I said before, with these weaker radar signatures, my guess is that there is a storm chaser or a spotter out there that said, hey, I got a funnel cloud. And out of abundance of caution, they said, okay, we're going to issue a warning. Because on radar on the surface here, I don't really see much anything that says, hey, there's a tornado here. There's no debris. There's no strong indication of rotation. It's just existing. There's no severe risk for you in Hendricks County. The only risk for severe weather today is from the SPC. I clicked the wrong button there. This area in very far southwestern Indiana, this dark green zone, that is the only area that is currently highlighted from the SPC for anything severe today. Now, tomorrow, we do have a risk on the west side of the state. It's a very low-end risk. There's tomorrow, the dark green area here from about South Bend down through about Indianapolis, down through about Evansville, this area. And that's going to be mainly a damaging wind threat for tomorrow afternoon and evening. But tonight should be largely just some rain showers. Our policy here is to go live for anything tornadic. And here we are. No problem, Renee. Go ahead and pop this off. Take a peek here at the Louisville radar just to make sure I'm not missing anything. There might be some upper level increased velocity there, but nothing definitive. I am scouring social media here, trying to figure out what prompted this warning. And once this warning expires, we'll be off here too. We don't expect anything additional to become severe or tornadic wise tonight. This was issued, I assume, from the Paducah office. Yes. Nothing there. So what I'm doing basically is just trying to find something or a report or a tag of the Paducah office that somebody sent like a report in, or just something that would kind of give us some clarity on why there's a warning issued here. I don't see anything though. So again, area of interest here, now east of Christney, moving toward Liberal and Newtonville. take a zoomed out look for you. I'm watching these cells up here by Bloomington and east of Terre Haute here by Clay City. Again, not really seeing too much of the way concerning, but there is a little bit of perhaps a windier signature here just south of Bloomington. What would appear to be more of a downburst signature. The red color indicates storms or the wind going away from the radar and the green going toward. So maybe some very, very weak rotation with this storm up here just south of Bloomington. But I think that's more perhaps of a downburst type of signature with that. We're going to watch that, though, a little bit closely. And this storm down here, I want to point out in Kentucky, south of Hardinsburg, it's not our problem in Indiana, but also looks to be some rotation with that storm too. So there's definitely something out there in the atmosphere today that's really trying to get these storms to spin at the low level. I'm going to pop open a tool we use called mesoanalysis to get a better idea of what could be happening. I have a hunch. I know it's happening. Yeah, there's a lot of what we call 3-cape out there, low level instability that's fueling these storms. And there's a tiny bit of vorticity, which is some spin. So when you overlap the two, you get some storms that try to rotate. So I believe that's what we have happening here tonight across the southern part of the state. We also have a statement out here. I want to check on this too. Now, the statement is not really for severe weather per se, but I just cracked the code here. Thank you, Julie, who messaged me. The statement here says there's wind gust of 50 to 55 miles per hour possible. But if you look closely here, it says conditions are favorable for the development of weak, brief funnel clouds. So they're talking about cold air funnels, and that is also kind of attributed to the fact we have a lot of low-level instability and some spin there as well. So that is what we have going on here. So what likely happened is one of these cold air funnel clouds either came close or did end up touching the ground. And because they're so weak in nature, we're not seeing that on radar. This is actually pretty common in summer times and especially late fall or early fall seasons. So this is not out of the ordinary, but I have to guess there's probably either a funnel cloud spotted or a funnel cloud ended up touching the ground, became a land spout, and we're not seeing it on radar. So usually those types of land spouts are very weak and brief in nature. If they do cause any damage, they're usually pretty weak. They're like 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So it's not a very strong occurrence by any means. But it isn't enough to freak you out if you see one. In fact, we actually had a cold air funnel yesterday. Was it Salem or Seymour? One of the S's. I kept confusing those towns yesterday. I think it was Salem, along with flooding yesterday. There's also a cold air funnel in the area. So probably what's happening here is very similar to what happened last night. So this tornado warning continues for Spencer County, and it's in effect for 23 more minutes. But I guess I'll go ahead and say this as well. If we kind of zoom out here, I would expect there to be a chance of more funnel clouds. I mean, the statement's already out there, but any one of these showers here in the South Indiana area, I would suggest would have a threat for funnel clouds with them. And again, typically these are harmless. They rarely ever touch ground. But I would suggest that there's probably additional chances across southern Indiana for more funnel clouds. Did it, Corey? I'll take a peek at it here. Yeah, even up here, just north of Chapel Hill, south of Bloomington, this area of we're gonna call area of interest. You see these greens and reds kind of not really coming together, but they're close. So I would also suggest further north here near Bloomington may have a chance at a funnel cloud here up there as well. Again, not seeing anything that screams tornado, but there is enough weak rotation there that kind of raises my eyebrow just a bit, especially with this environment at hand tonight that I'm looking at real-time data with. So if you happen to see a funnel cloud, I guess it's not out of the ordinary with these setups. It rarely ever should touch ground. If it does, go ahead and report it to NWS or 911 if you do happen to see one. But these should not be of much concern tonight to like damage wise. Taking back here or looking back here toward Clay City. I'm not seeing anything too concerning back here, but with these again with these funnel clouds, they're so weak in nature. They're so shallow rooted, which means they're in the very low levels of the atmosphere. Our radar beam here is shooting about 3,000 to 5,000 feet above our heads. We're not going to see anything spinning at these levels because the radar beam is just not capable of seeing that low in the atmosphere. So we're not going to see rotation with these storms. Unfortunately, we're kind of have to go off spotter reports and public reports like you guys. So again, if you happen to see a funnel cloud or even a land spout this evening across South Indiana, feel free to send us a picture as well as report that to NWS if you know how to. Also, calling your 911 or non-emergency line is also a good idea as well, just so NWS is aware. We are live currently because of the tornado warning for Spencer County. Area of interest is now going to be near the town of Liberal. I'm not seeing anything on radar that would indicate this is tornadic. Caroline in chat here says heading down Highway 70, almost Newtonville, heading north. Definitely some rotation in the clouds. Nothing on the ground. Thank you, Caroline, for that report. Yeah, and usually with these funnel clouds and sometimes land spouts, they're usually very brief, less than 5 minutes in nature. So they're not going to be very long lasting. I would expect this warning to be canceled or at least expired here shortly. I can't imagine they're going to continue this much longer unless they still have reports of something on the ground that we're not seeing. Check back up here with our 2 cells near Clay City, Bloomington area. Wouldn't be shocked if there's a nice looking structure on this storm. This is going to be just south of our Martinsville camera. So I can't pull that up just yet. But when you see these reds and greens here. There could be two things. It could be a downburst where there's a lot of rain falling. It's hitting the ground with a lot of force. It's spreading outwards. That's one. The other possibility is some brief weak rotation with this storm. So if you're going to be just north of Chapel Hill near Lake Monroe, just south of Bloomington, if you see anything interesting, I would not be shocked. Did they trim this back even further? They did. So they went ahead and trimmed this back even further with the warning. They're still going radar indicated here. So they're going to continue it, which is interesting. So warning now is going to be for the town of Liberal, Lamar, Evanston, New Boston, and we'll go ahead and say Fulda. I'm going to take a peek up here with my other radar and leave it there on that cell in Monroe County. I'm going to take a water break here. If I can find my jug, which I cannot find my jug, so I'm going to have to go without water for a minute. Okay, we're going to be live here as long as there is a tornado warning in effect. The storm up in the southern part of Monroe County actually piques my interest more than the one down here in Spencer County. So here's rotation tracker here. You want to see bright greens and bright reds meeting or coming close to meeting. And for right now, we're not seeing that with this storm. But if I were to go out here to the north toward Bloomington, you're going to see a bit better signature right here. We have some greens and reds here, and the greens are a little brighter, but we want to see them much brighter. But there's still a little bit better signature up here, just south and a little bit east of Sanders, Smithville area, north of Chapel Hill. Wouldn't be shocked if there was a funnel cloud there. If I had to guess, area of interest can be just south of the town of Liberal. Somewhere down in this vicinity. Thank you, Stephen. And yes, we are live on YouTube as well. You'd actually prefer you guys to watch on YouTube. It is a much better experience, just my personal opinion, than is watching on Facebook. Although there's not many people watching on YouTube today. We have 12 of you guys over there currently. But of course, this is kind of like a surprise. No one really expected this to become warned. So it's not a very high threat today at all. But YouTube is the way to go. That's just my personal stance on watching streams from us. Christine says, I agree, easier to watch on YouTube. I have to agree with you. We also have more ability to help you guys on YouTube as well. Our moderation team has tools they can kind of direct you certain ways, like our latest forecast, tools and tips to take shelter. We can't do that on Facebook. We can do it on YouTube, though. I'm in North Vernon. Anything coming my way? Not really severe-wise. There's a storm that's slowly pushing to the east over by Bloomington. But for you in North Vernon, just some rain. There's not much at all happening. And these storms are actually moving very slow today. So they're not going to zoom across the state. They're not going to cover a lot of ground here. They're just kind of, this storm actually is kind of hanging out in the same place, to be honest. We animate that again. This is a 30-minute radar loop, and it probably went 5 miles, if that. So from the radar start right here to where it ends right there, it traveled like 5 miles over 30 minutes. And the tornado warning has been dropped. That was kind of expected with that. We're going to watch the Bloomington cell here a little closer, just because we're not really, again, we wouldn't be shocked to see a little funnel cloud coming out of the storm. And the environment is favorable this evening for those funnel clouds because we have a lot of instability in the low levels and some spin as well. That's helping the very low levels of the atmosphere kind of rotate just a bit. But the good news is because it's so shallow rooted, I mean, it's not very tall, not very potent updraft, any rotation should be pretty weak in nature. So if anything does happen to touch down, it'll likely be a land spout, and usually land spouts have winds less than 70 or so miles per hour, which puts it on a very, very weak EF0 or even lower than that tornado status. So if you happen to see a funnel cloud tonight, report it and make sure you go inside, take shelter indoors. Nothing tonight should be quote unquote tornadic, but if these funnel clouds, they rarely touch ground. If they do touch ground, there'll be a land spout if they do. But right now, no warnings in effect. Let's go ahead and take a rundown here. North of Indy, North I-70, got some cells developing up here actually, just south of Crawfordsville near Rochdale. These, again, there's really no severe threat today up here, but the environment across central and southern Indiana would be favorable for these funnel clouds and perhaps very, very rare instances of a land spout touchdown. But overall, not really see much out there. The most concerning storm is going to be just south here of Bloomington. And even then, it's not very tight on radar. Wouldn't be shocked if there's a funnel cloud there, though. So either way, I think we're going to pop out of here just because there are no more warnings in effect. If one does become warned again, we'll pop back on. But right now, we are all clear of any warnings. And again, don't be shocked in southern and central part of Indiana if you see a funnel cloud tonight with any shower or perhaps storm that does develop. That is just the atmosphere we have in place tonight. Usually the funnel clouds are harmless and rarely ever touch ground. And with that being said, I'm going to pop out of here, and I'll say it one more time. If we have more warnings, we'll be back live here this evening if needed. You guys enjoy your night, stay safe, and feel free to send us pictures, reports, or anything into our inbox. We are always on the lookout for those, and they're much welcomed. You guys enjoy your evening. I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully it's not tonight.